This week, we talk about CrossFit. Also, we'll look at a vegan doctor versus a carnivore doctor and see if you can spot any differences. We're also going to check in and see if I'm any less fat. Let's get into it. What's up, Dewey-san?
Not a lot. How about you?
I'm doing good. This week, I feel excellent.
Look out the window. It's light out.
It's light. The crazy 20 below stuff is gone.
Zip it. Gonna knock on wood right now.
And it'll never happen again this year. I guarantee it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, for those that don't know, we're up in the upper Midwest and it gets freaking cold here.
Really,
as the rest of the country
we got
experienced.
so spoiled this winter, though.
Oh, God.
People are like, "Oh, why do we live here?" Like, dude, it was unseasonably warm the entire winter.
I think I've used my snowblower like 3 times.
Right.
This ain't nothing.
People just have to complain.
When I was a kid, I had to walk uphill both ways with a hot potato under each armpit.
Speaking of dad jokes, the same one I tell all the time is when it was ass biting cold last week or 2 weeks ago, like 50 below wind chill or whatever it was.
Yep.
I always say, dad joke, I always say, oh, but it's a dry cold.
Right.
You're like the first person that ever laughed.
Yes, it's good. Well, because I'm going to use that on my kids.
Right. No, it's a total dad joke.
I'm just loading.
What does that mean, Dad?
Loading up the chamber.
By the way, I have a dad joke for the audience, for the youth listeners, since we don't have any. We don't have any adult listeners.
Let's hear it.
Why do scuba divers fall backwards into the ocean?
I don't know.
Because if they fell forward, they'd still be in the boat. Your kids will love
that one. Just made me angry.
Your kids will love it. Oh, they're going to be so mad. Every time my daughter would have a sleepover, I'd tell that joke to her friends.
Oh, boy.
I hate you.
So much for being the cool dad.
Right.
All right. Well, before we get into our topic this week, I'm going to go over a couple of things. One thing I tried this week, and I'm going to bring up this recipe here. Okay, I tried this. And this is kind of dangerous because, once you get into the trying to emulate snacks or bread or pizza, keto pizzas, and all this kind of stuff.
Pretending to be the foods you're not supposed to eat.
Right. It's a dangerous path. You got to be real careful because
you're not breaking the habit.
Sometimes, yeah, exactly. Sometimes you're better off just eat the meat or whatever, meat and vegetables if you're doing keto, and don't try to replicate the bread, the biscuits, the pizza crust, all that kind of stuff because it doesn't break the habits. But I did try this, and I've been really pretty strict carnivore, and this is just basically heavy cream, eggs, gelatin, vanilla, a pinch of salt, and then you can do stevia or some other, no calorie type, sugar free or whatever, 0 calorie sweetener if you want. Some people, once they are off sweets for so long, they lose the taste for that.
I was just gonna say I'll make something like that, and I'll be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This tastes exactly like pudding or ice cream.
Right.
And I'll be like, Emmy, come here, try this. And she'll be, oh, it looks good. She eats it. She's like, bleh.
That's exactly what happened to my kids. I made 5 little bowls of it. I'm like, hey, we'll try my pudding. And they're like, gross.
Right.
Because it's not as sweet as they would like. But when you're eating only meat and your taste buds literally get used to meat as, the sweetest thing you're eating, then all of a sudden something like this with a little vanilla in it and maybe a little bit of stevia or whatever tastes like pudding to you. It's all just perspective and it's all relative. So
I think we had those spoons growing up.
Yeah, those do.
That same old shitty 70s couch you see in pictures. You're like, oh, we had that. I think we called it a Davenport.
Davenport. Oh my God. Yes, my grandma called it that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Anybody else from anywhere else in the country, do you call it a Davenport? Which, by the way, is your couch, your living room couch.
Right.
I don't know what the hell that means, but let us know if you live in Georgia, if they call it that, or if that's just a northern thing. So vanilla pudding, try it out. I'll put the link in the show notes for you to try. When you're doing keto and low carb and stuff, do you try to do some of those snacks or make pizza, or do you just say, I gotta go hard line, stay between the rails?
I don't say that, but it's too much work.
Yeah.
It's too much work. I'll just eat beef jerky. It's already made.
There you go. So that's your version of a snack.
Yeah. I mean, once in a while, I've tried using Walden's sugar-free syrup.
Right.
It's sugar-free, calorie-free. Some of it's pretty good.
Yep.
But what I'll ultimately end up doing, if I'm straight up strict keto, I'll just make a protein shake with heavy whipping cream.
Okay. So that has a little bit of like a chocolate or vanilla type.
Well,
feel,
the protein shake will have, it's like chocolate or vanilla.
So that with heavy cream is pretty tasty.
Yeah. Well, to me it is, because like you mentioned, I haven't eaten anything.
Yeah,
so and I mix it with a ton of ice, and it's heavy whipping cream, so it's really creamy.
Yeah.
And it's good. Yep. It's really good.
A lot of calories, right?
Oh yeah.
So if you're working out a lot, that's good, but be careful. Yeah. Heavy whipping cream.
Yeah. If you're gonna make shakes, disclaimer. If you don't want to be 400 pounds and you're going to make shakes out of heavy whipping cream, measure with a teaspoon.
Well, the other danger of things like the vanilla pudding and the keto pizza crust and stuff is they taste so damn good and they're hyper palatable, you can overeat.
Well, for sure.
So, you got to watch that. Whereas if I just eat a steak, I can only eat so much of that. Yep. I mean, it tastes damn good, but if I have a pizza with the cheese and, sausage, pepperoni on it, and you got the keto crust. I mean, that's as good as regular pizza when you're doing super low carb.
Well, it's keto.
Yeah, so you can just and you have that excuse of, well, it's keto, so I can eat as much as I want. Remember, as we said in our calories in, calories out episode,
energy balance matters.
It still matters.
Energy balance is still a thing.
But eating low carb is just an easier way to stick to the amounts you need to be in to operate in the deficit.
And speaking of, I'm just low carb now.
Right.
I'm not doing keto. Just keto group ended, and I got exercise. I'm doing training for some things. So I need some fuel to do some more high intensity burst type anaerobic workouts. So I'm low carb, but not keto. So now my shakes I use almond milk.
Okay. And that has a little more carbs because you're trying
tiny
to keep your
bit more,
down?
but there's very few calories. Well, not trying to get my calories down a little bit, but I'm trying to
give you some more carbs versus fat.
I'm trying to pay attention where do they come from.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, before we get into our topic, another thing that popped up that was kind of funny was, have you heard of Dr. Greger, by the way?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He does.
Okay.
He does. Our mutual friend, Jack, love you, Jack. He sends me the Dr. Greger YouTube videos all the time. And like the first one he sent me, I got like 60 seconds into it, and I said, I want to kill that guy. Seriously, he's the most annoying person on the planet.
Well, there's a couple funny things about this. Okay, so he has a website called nutritionfacts.org, I believe, and he's talking about one of his recent videos. Well, actually, it was about from a year ago, but he's talking about keto diets, muscle growth, and bone density. Basically saying that a keto diet is going to make it harder to grow muscle, and it's going to decrease your bone density, which I thought was complete bullshit. And especially, and I'll put this YouTube link in the show notes so everybody can view it for themselves. And I'm playing it on the screen here, but I don't have the sound going. We're just kind of watching. But I was hoping that he would get in here and talk about it, because it's funny when you see this guy, you realize he should not be talking about muscle growth at all.
Right.
And for those that are listening on the audio podcast, I encourage you to go on YouTube, because and we're going to see if there's a picture of Dr. Greger and then Dr. Sean Baker, who's carnivore, side by side, and we'll see if you can detect any noticeable differences between them. I don't know, Dewey, do you see anything different?
Nothing's jumping out at me.
I mean,
he's got
Sean
a beard.
Baker's smiling. Yeah. Dr. Greger has a beard.
And he's pregnant.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Dr. Greger has glasses and a phone and a shirt on. And I bet he never takes his shirt off either, judging by his body composition. Yeah, okay.
And so let's face it, he could fold Dr. Greger like a piece of paper.
Oh, yeah. Sean Baker. Okay, for those that aren't seeing this picture that I have up on YouTube, Sean Baker is jacked AF. And he's just a massive muscle beast.
Probably 7-8% body fat.
At 54 years old.
54 and 6'5".
And the reason this came up was because Sean Baker posted he was making fun of Greger because it was his 48th birthday. Well, you look at these two, and
he doesn't look a day over 68.
Great. He looks like somebody's grandpa, and he's actually technically younger than me, which is kind of crazy, but way younger than Sean Baker. So, and, of course, obviously this is not a fair comparison because I'm sure there's jacked guys that are vegan, and I'm sure there's carnivores that are fat too.
Sure there are.
There's always, the outliers, but this guy to be on YouTube preaching about muscle growth when obviously he knows nothing about it or does not have the ability to grow any muscle, or I guess just has not chosen to do it. But yeah, his gut is, what's that term? He looks like a kid in the 80s from Ethiopia, the famine.
Yeah, I don't know gut. if that's visceral fat. I don't know. I don't know.
Bloating could be bloating, visceral fat, all of that. And he's got twig arms.
It could be fake too. Could have been someone doctored it up.
I've watched enough of this guy on YouTube.
I'm pretty skeptical of the internet.
He's very, very skinny. He's got no muscle tone and protruding gut.
Very frail.
So, you judge for yourself.
Plus, he wears a T-shirt under a collared shirt. Who does that?
Especially a black one. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, that's enough. We're being mean.
Anyway, we're being mean to Dr.
You know what, though?
Happy birthday, though, bro. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy 68th. Or wait, 48th?
48.
But you know what? I'm not a bully. I'm not picking on him, but he is super snarky.
He is.
Very condescending. He's a rude little fella.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't mind going at him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and he's out there. He's got a very popular YouTube channel, and he's spewing this information. And if you watch his stuff and that's all you'd watched, you would think that the way to muscle growth and better bone density is to eat a bunch of vegetables all the time and no meat. And, we know that is bullshit.
I just don't get their argument against protein. It's since the beginning of science.
Yep.
I don't remember what day that was, but since the beginning of science, protein has been an essential macronutrient, essential to life.
Exactly.
And now these vegans are saying, you don't need protein. Mm-hmm. You don't even need it at all, ever.
Right. Why would you?
How do you get to rewrite those textbooks?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And, this, we don't want to go down the rabbit hole necessarily.
Yeah, we're talking CrossFit.
Right. But it goes, back to if you watch some of these documentaries, you see the whole origin of all this stuff was the Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah, it was Kellogg.
Right, which is basically trying to control masculinity and rein it in.
Well, he's trying to cure masturbation.
Cure masturbation because that was a sin.
Teenage boys were masturbating, so he needed to create a food that would stop them from masturbating.
That would reduce their sex drive and their potency.
So, born out of that, cornflakes. Right. Naturally.
Yeah.
I grew up on cornflakes. It doesn't work.
Right.
I mean...
Yeah, I was spooning the cereal in one hand and jacking with the other. Try and stop me, Kellogg's.
Right. But that's that whole Ansel Keys and Kellogg's and the fat, the war on fat and all that creepy, stuff. Man. You go back and read and watch some of that stuff or read some of that stuff, and yeah, it's
very creepy shit.
It's cultish. Yeah. Speaking of cults,
well, you think you can stop me from masturbating when I was 13? You are
wrong.
I thought we got rid of that guy.
Never. All right, so
it's like herpes.
Before we get into CrossFit, I got one more thing to talk about here.
Come on.
So I thought one of the things we could do is define terminology and terms that we use. Because one thing when I was starting to learn about all this nutrition and fitness stuff is you hear all these terms and they fly by, and you just kind of nod your head and go, okay, I think that's, basal metabolic rate, electrolytes,
mTOR, ATP.
Yeah, TDEE, all this stuff. And you're like, yep, sounds good. Yeah, my TDE is great. I nailed it this week, and not having any idea what these terms mean. So I thought once in a while we would just pick a term and talk about what it is.
Sure.
So we're going to talk about today being fat adapted. Now, I know we posted a YouTube video a couple weeks back about a doctor, the German guy.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but I'll find that link again and put it in the show notes as well. So we have it.
Too.
And he talks about 10 signs of knowing that you are fat adapted. But I just wanted to define the term to see what it even means.
So more scientific?
Yeah. So I found this graphic here. It says, what does fat adapted even mean?
What's the source?
The source. Yep. Fat adapted. What's that?
What's the source? Where does it come from?
Oh,
becoming a fat adapted athlete. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So basically I'll just read it here. It says fat adapted means that you have taught your body to use fatty acids as a primary source of energy / fuel instead of sugars and carbohydrates. That's basically it. So all that fat on your body can be put to good use. And that's really the key. And that's why keto is so good for burning fat, is because you're taking your body, which is used to running on carbs and glucose, which you would feed it that through your bread and your pasta and all that. And that's why you get hungry, because your body uses that as fuel. And then when it uses it up, you have to put more in. Whereas when you're fat adapted and you've trained your body to burn fat, and you don't have fat coming in through your mouth, it goes to the stores that are already on your body. Like, as the Two Keto Dudes podcast always joke, they say it's that Krispy Kreme you ate 10 years ago. That's, that put fat on your body. That's what your body will use as fuel, and it'll consume that. And that's how you can train your body to burn the fat that's already on it as a fuel source.
Right.
And that's why you're not as hungry either.
Yep.
So that's kind of...
that last bullet point is mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, a couple of the things it says. Most people have, at most, about 2,000 calories of glucose and glycogen, sugars available for energy. And by contrast, most people have around 80,000 calories of fat stored in their bodies. So either go with the 2,000 that you're going to run out of quick in the form of glucose, and you have to keep refueling with more breads and pasta, etc., or the 80,000 calories that are already sitting on around your gut, that from that Krispy Kreme that you ate 10 years ago. So which would you rather use as fuel? I want to use the fat on my body. Say, go ahead, use that up, body. Use that for fuel and get it off me.
There is some evidence. We won't get into this. This is a huge rabbit hole, probably a whole show. But there is some evidence out right now suggesting that it's hard on the liver to be strictly ketogenic and be super lean and athletic.
To maintain that state?
It's hard on the liver.
For years.
It's hard on the liver.
Right.
Because it wants glucose too. So, again, won't go down the rabbit hole. Need to do a lot of more, reading on it.
And that'll be interesting, because this keto carnivore low carb lifestyle has really only been popular, I don't know, the last decade or so.
People I work with, it's no secret that I use the ketogenic diet as a fat loss tool for people who have significant weight to lose.
Right.
If you come to me lean like you're lean now, and
fuck yeah, bitches.
If you come to me and said, hey, I need to lose 5 pounds, I need to do keto. I'm like, no, you don't.
Right.
You need to lift weights, work your ass off.
Right.
You can lose that last 5 pounds. That's not what the ketogenic diet's for.
Yeah.
Keto is fat burning, and you have a lot of it, so let's burn it.
Yep.
That's elevator pitch.
Also, the other benefits of people, that are diabetic, getting off their meds.
Oh, right.
Lifting depression, all the other benefits of
so many things.
That when you remove the inflammation associated with all the carb intake.
Right.
There's so many reasons to stay on it long term. But yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see 10, 20 years down the road what the long-term effects are, because there really isn't a lot of studies on carnivore, and especially not on carnivore, but on just super zero or super low carb lifestyles. There's not the amount of studies that there have been for the other ways of eating.
Right.
So we don't know, like a 20-year carnivore, 20-year zero carb or low carb diet.
And this is where people are going to be like, after I say this, they're going to be like, whoa. Let's talk about that. Expound on that some more. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to say it, and then we're going to move on.
Okay.
Nothing, whether it's been vegetarian, vegan, keto, carnivore, any of the diets that I've dabbled with, nothing has made my blood work better than by just simply losing fat.
Right. So almost hang on. Yes. Mind bomb, truth bomb. So it almost doesn't matter the method.
Right.
Whatever way works for you to reduce the fat, that's going to have a lot of the benefits health-wise.
Right.
Yes. And we'll talk about that too when we get to I had a doctor's appointment today for my physical. I would say annual physical, but more like every other decade physical. So
that's
we'll
not
get
how
into
it's supposed to work.
Right. All right. So let's get into our topic this week. So it is.
It's not funny.
Wait, hang on. I meant to hit this one.
It's not funny at all.
It is. CrossFit.
It's Super. Yeah, that's why I said earlier when I said, speaking of cults, it is a cult, by the way.
Yeah.
100% is a cult. We have our own language.
Well,
We have our own meetings outside of work. Those people now become our friends. But why is that bad?
the leaders get to have sex with everyone's wives.
They haven't introduced me to that part, which is probably not good.
Well, that's when you reach the
On the wrong end of that.
84th level of spiritual creaminess, and you start dedicating 3/4 of your salary.
Shoot.
Oh, wait, that's Scientology.
Yeah. Darn it. But no, it is a cult. But why is that bad?
Right.
Why is it bad to be surrounded by healthy people and people with positive outlooks on life?
Yeah, there's worse things to be
Why are you
dedicated to, right?
You better be careful hanging out with all those successful people. You're going to become one of them.
Right.
Oh, darn.
Okay, let's talk about CrossFit. Okay, let's find I'm bringing up the old CrossFit website here. Now, this is straight up CrossFit.com, okay?
This is called what we call main site.
Now, the funny claim that they make right at the beginning is the key to health and fitness. CrossFit is a lifestyle characterized by safe, effective exercise and sound nutrition. CrossFit can be used to accomplish any goal, from improved health to weight loss to better performance. The program works for everyone. People who are just starting out and people who have trained for years. That is some bold claims right there.
It is.
Bold.
And the best breakdown that I have ever heard was former CEO and founder Greg Glassman used to say, the only thing different between what your grandma needs in the form of stimulus and a Navy SEAL needs only differs in degree, not in kind.
Right.
So whether you're 95 or 5, you need to squat. You need to pick up stuff from the floor. You need to lift stuff over your head. You need to have metabolic health. You need to be conditioned.
And that's really, as far as I understand from the outside, the difference between CrossFit and just regular working out or running or just lifting weights by itself. You're doing what's called functional movement, right? So does that mean
it's if you're going to move?
Like
if I'm going to help you move your couch,
right?
That's functional movement.
So
that's
functional
help fitness.
Perform a task rather than just I'm going to make my bicep bigger,
right?
Whereas you're targeting a muscle by doing curls or whatever. This is more like pick up this medicine ball, throw it up against the wall, and catch it again.
Yep.
So it's really like helping
shoulder.
lift and throwing,
right?
And it works, I'm guessing, way more muscle groups than just the bicep, which is with a strict curl.
Pick up this 150-pound sandbag and run with it across the parking lot. Why? Because that's your daughter you're pulling out of a fire.
Right.
That's what it is.
The ability to accomplish tasks rather than just build a muscle for aesthetics.
Right. And this is one of the stereotypes of CrossFitters is it's not really a stereotype because it's true. But why is it bad? And it's a lot of people say, well, he's CrossFit competent. And
as an insult, they try to throw that as a barb.
Yeah, like a barb. And I'm in today's world, what's wrong with being confident?
Right.
So CrossFit makes
confidence should be something people should strive for.
Exactly. And CrossFit makes you just a better version of you. People say, why do you like to do CrossFit? Because it makes me better. It saved my life. I truly believe that. Because it led me down this path.
From being fat Dewey?
Yeah, just on the wrong path. And
so tell me how you first heard about it.
I first heard about CrossFit in probably 2010, 2011. I was up late one night, probably drinking beer. And I'm a sports guy. So
half the Oreo's gone.
Right. Oh, that's later. Once the beer's gone, then I go to the milk and Oreos. So I was flipping through the channels, and I'm a sports guy, and I stopped on, checked ESPN. So it was late at night, so they had this program called the CrossFit Games.
Oh, yeah. Right.
What is that?
Yeah.
So I stopped on it, and they're like, well, coming up next is the next event, blah, blah, blah. And
you thought it was some wacky event like dwarf tossing?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was cornhole or I didn't know what the hell they were doing. So I started watching it, and they started doing CrossFit events. And I was like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen.
So you just instantly were attracted to it?
Oh, just like a magnet. Okay. I'm just like, where do I get more? Then Google. CrossFit videos.
Now, was there CrossFit in town at that point?
There was. Oh, maybe not. Not sure. I don't think so.
So when you heard about
a little bit of the,
did you seek it out then?
I did. Yep. But that's the other part of the story. Not until 2016. Oh. So I watched it. I watched it on YouTube. I did some of the workouts. There's a hero WOD called Murph.
And so, because a lot of stuff you can do at your house if you just got
absolutely,
bar,
and that's the whole point. Like the CrossFit Games are coming up, and they're going to have a bodyweight only division. So people who don't even have a gym because of COVID,
then it's just like a bunch of burpees.
Yeah, burpees and
push-ups and shit.
Yeah, it's going to be hard as shit.
Oh yeah, but for anybody what I'll say about just because I've watched some of the documentaries and I've seen it on YouTube, and I went to a few sessions here in town. What they make it look. It looks way easier than it is. Like if you watch somebody do some of this stuff and then you try to do it, you don't realize how
so unfit.
Oh my God, you don't realize how hard this shit is. And I'll tell anybody, drop and do 50 push-ups or do 30 burpees or whatever.
But in between every 10, run a 400.
Yeah, most people can't do any one of those things, much less string them together
in a time frame.
Oh my God,
they're time bound.
Yeah, it's insane.
So. Back to what I was saying is about 2016, I finally said, I got to do this. So I Googled CrossFit gyms. It was before that. A couple years before that, I Googled a couple of CrossFit gyms. And that's one of the things I'll talk about a little bit later because it's a barrier to entry.
Yeah.
I thought it was. When I looked up like 701 and CrossFit Fargo, a couple of the other local gyms.
Well, no, explain what you meant by barrier to entry. You thought
that's what I was going.
Your average person can't.
No. The barrier to entry is the price.
Oh, the price. Okay.
Yeah, it can be perceived as expensive, but I think
how do they compare to like joining a regular lifting gym, like monthly
not even
cost?
Close. Not even close. $35-$40 a month at Metroflex or wherever. It's $200.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So it is pretty significant.
They're cheaper. They're different packages, and you can sign up for a year and get a better deal. But it's not about the money. Right. You mentioned that last week. It's never about the money.
Right.
So, anyways, back up 2016. I went. There was a gym in Moorhead because it was close to my house. Mm-hmm. So I stopped in there. I'm a sales guy by profession. I'm a type A alpha. I'm not shy. Mm-hmm. I pulled in that goddamn driveway like 6 times and sat there and left.
Oh shit. You're like spooked.
Yeah. And, it was in the summertime, and I'd pull up in the driveway, and they'd be outside flipping tires and throwing sandbags, and I'm just like...
Those big tractor tires.
I really got to get home and
eat some more
Oreos, do nothing. But I went in. The best decision I ever made.
So we'll talk about that fear a little bit. Like, do people think I'm never going to be able to do this, and that's why they kind of avoid it? Now, talk about if you're a beginner, what can you do to get on the train?
Every single person. Well, I'll phrase it this way:
you can scale the workouts, right?
It's infinitely scalable.
So, meaning if you can't flip a giant tractor tire, you grab a car tire or do something else.
Maybe it's just bending over in a sumo squat or sumo deadlift and picking up a dumbbell from the floor.
Right, or use a smaller medicine ball.
Small deadlift. Right.
Or smaller box jump. Or
it's infinite. It's literally infinitely scalable.
The idea is do what you're capable of doing, but always be pushing.
Right. But I used to always joke that when I got there, I was like, I'm a former athlete. I'm strong. I'm going to crush this.
See that?
That was terrible. I was in the corner.
Well, I never make it look so easy.
And I had never done Olympic lifting in my life. We didn't do it in high school or college football.
To define that, Olympic lifting is like the deadlifts, squats.
Yeah, all your core. The Olympic lifting is your competitive lifts, or the clean and jerk, snatch.
Snatch.
Yeah. Anyways. So yeah, I'd never done any of that stuff, and I didn't realize until Coach K over at EHP had me go through some mobility tests to see if I didn't even have a squat, dude. I couldn't even squat properly without, falling into my toes and being up.
You didn't have the form.
Yeah. So I had to start from scratch. And these people were doing heavy back squats from the rig, they call it.
Yeah.
And I'm over in the corner with dumbbells. And I always used to say I'm in the corner with my dunce cap on because I had to start from scratch. But I did it.
Yeah.
But I just stuck with it. And I'm glad I did.
So then you built up where you
didn't
have to scale as hard.
Yep.
So that's something for newbies. If you're looking to get into it, you can get in there and just do what you can do, and then you work up to it. And the whole goal is progression.
Exactly. So anyways, back to the original question was CrossFit started in about 2000 is when Greg Glassman started it. And he did most of it within the Navy SEAL and the military and the police community. And that's kind of its origin.
Guys that really, really need to be functionally fit.
Right. They're literally saving people on a daily basis.
Saving people, or their own lives will depend on their ability to move some heavy shit
or
get out of somewhere quick or swim or
run
whatever.
And dive out of a burning building and jump to the ladder or whatever. Yeah, right. So in about 2000, he started the original CrossFit Gym, which is in Santa Cruz, California. The second one was CrossFit North, I believe, in Seattle. By the end of 2005, there were 13 CrossFit gyms in the country, or worldwide, I guess.
Right. And now there's thousands, right?
Now, I actually pulled some numbers for you. Let's see if you can guess. You didn't look at my notes, did you? Okay. Right now, in 2021, as of today, Planet Fitness has 2,039 affiliates.
With approximately 6 people in each one that are paying $10 a month to never go in there.
Well, yeah, and 1,000 people paying. Yeah. Anytime Fitness. I didn't know this. I thought Planet Fitness was bigger. Anytime Fitness, 4,520.
Wow.
YMCA, 2,700.
Okay.
Think of all the cities.
Right.
Seems to make sense, huh?
Yeah.
CrossFit, how many? Take a guess.
5,000.
As of today, 15,000.
Holy shit. Wow, that's really exploded then.
Yeah. Since 2005, really, essentially.
And YMCA's have been around forever. Planet Fitnesses have been around forever.
Yep.
So that's a crazy, crazy growth.
It is.
So talk about
but it's stuck.
Talk about why you mentioned the cult, the sense of community, which was
that's
really
why it's stuck, and I'm going to go into that. And
an exaggerated sense of community is kind of what.
It's not exaggerated.
Well, not but heightened sense of community over.
It is a heightened sense of community.
I'll bring up their site again because it says the community. That's one of the things they highlight.
It's called. Yep.
Your support network at thousands of affiliates around the world. People encourage and motivate each other in every class as they work towards their goals. Start training with friends, make new friends. The fun is in the community.
So let's just say we have a workout and it's for time.
Yep.
So you have 5 movements and 10 reps apiece, and you have to get as fast as you can. Just get it done as fast as you can. So it's for time.
Right.
Well, you're a newbie and you're out of shape, and you're in a class with a bunch of fit people, and they're done in 4 minutes, and you're going on 14.
Right.
Nobody's done until you're done.
So they drag you along.
Yep. They will stop. They can't put their weights away. They can't go get a drink.
Does that come from the Navy SEAL?
No
man left behind kind of thing?
100% it does.
Okay.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Nobody's done until you're all done. So,
and I'm guessing what happens is those fit people that finished early are like, "Come on, let's go! You can do it!"
Just screaming, some will jump in and do it with them.
Right.
You got this. If it's burpees, some will get around them and do burpees. It's phenomenal. I get goosebumps, and I'm one of those people that's there right away screaming. But you know what? I fucking hate it when they do it to me.
Because it means you're behind.
Right. I hate it. Yeah. And I do everything in my power. Like, I'm really sucking on this. And the first thing I do is look around over my shoulder. Please let other people be left. Okay. You just have to be, it's like the water buffalo story where you just have to be faster than the slowest one.
Right.
So you won't get eaten.
Yeah. So that sense of community and that accountability piece, the motivation.
But here's my theory that people won't like, and I don't care. And I think I'm right. Is CrossFit exploded onto the scene because it was raw. Yeah. It was badass.
There is
You just were bloodied and you ripped your hands on the bar and you played angry gangster rap and you said the F word a lot.
Yeah, so it's tough. You've seen it.
It is. It's so raw and badass and so extreme.
Yep.
Just do extreme shit and it's radical.
Yep. That attracts a certain type of person.
Yeah, me. Yep. So right. I started doing, and then they kind of plateaued. So what did they try to do? They tried to go mainstream with it. and it's
Try to get more
welcome for everybody.
More soccer moms and stuff.
Right. And it is for everybody, but it lost its edge.
Right.
It really did. It lost its edge. And
by the way, you sound like the guy that was like, I love Metallica, but then when they put out the Black Album, they suck after that.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Like
I feel like that guy. Right. Right. And it's hard not to feel that way because it was so exclusive. Like people
exclusivity
right. And
you're part of the cool kids club.
Right. Right. And it's hard.
Yeah.
People go, what do you do CrossFit? What's CrossFit? And I used to have a couple of favorite YouTube videos and I'd send it to them and they'd be like, I could never do that. And I'd go,
like, fuck yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
I'm stud.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Well, not actually. Actually, I'd go, whatever. It's infinitely scalable. Anyone can do it.
Right.
But then after a while,
they would just die.
Which is fine. And some people did show up and then they'd get hooked. Just like I did.
Right.
And
so you like that exclusivity a little bit.
Okay. Yep. And you want to share it. It's you want to testify. And so I would so it took me a while to get to that point where I was just a pure cynic, where I would tell people, come do CrossFit with me. Let's bring a buddy day. You're going to love it. I know you. I know your personality, and you want to do something different. You want something that's interesting. It keeps you guessing. It keeps you on your toes. It's quick hitting. It's in and out, and really, really hard. And after a while, I got sick of telling that story and feeling like I was begging people or badgering them even.
Right.
So you know what? From that day on, when I become a true cynic, I was like, yeah, you're right. You can't do it. And I just move on.
Yeah. Well, because it's not your job to evangelize.
Exactly.
People.
Then I quit doing that. But no, it really, really, really did lose its edge, its rawness. Yeah. And a lot of the purists, diehards, they don't like that.
Yeah.
They don't.
That makes sense.
And that's part of the business model that I think is failing because the edginess, I think they need to bring the edginess back. Well, even for the soccer moms.
It is like a band. When a band is underground and you like it, then it's cool. But then if they have a huge hit album or something and all of a sudden.
Now they're Nickelback.
You're seeing, some girl that knows nothing, has no taste in music. All of a sudden you see her at the concert. You're like, I thought this is cool.
Right. Yeah. I thought this was First Avenue, 7th Street entry.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden they're at the local Enormo Dome and you're like, well, why is everybody like this? This is supposed to be exclusive. So yeah, there is some parallels there.
Yep.
But, as the owners of CrossFit, I mean, how can you blame them, right? It's like, do you want to be...
No, they have to take the next step.
Like as a band, do you want to be traveling around in a van smelling each other's farts all day? Or do you want to be each have your own private jet?
Right.
How do you deny them that?
Yep.
So that is a tough...
It really is.
When you're growing like that, that's a pretty tough challenge.
Yep. And it's tough for the local gyms. I mean, my heart goes out to them. They have a really, really tough business model.
Oh, yeah.
And a competitive one. And they're...
Let's talk about that a little bit because in order, just so everyone knows, in order to have the name CrossFit in your gym, you pay
$5,000
CrossFit
a year.
A franchise fee.
Yep.
$5,000 a year. So
just to use the name. It really, and that's one of the gripes of the CrossFit owners, box owners, is that that's all it really is. Right. It doesn't come with much. It comes with main site programming and some advertising and some social media presence, but it really doesn't come with much more than that.
Well, other than just, if people say CrossFit, then you get to have the word CrossFit in your gym. So people are going to seek you out versus if you're just ABC Gym, people won't know that you do CrossFit.
Right.
So you're paying for that, the attraction of people searching out that term. So I wonder, I've seen local ones abandon the name and they probably just realized, well, let's just try to make this on our own. We have kind of a membership now. We can make it work. What's your opinion on having the CrossFit name or not? Do you think it's important to have that franchise or does it matter?
You just mentioned community. Mm-hmm. I think there are a few gyms in town, or two now for sure, that are operating without the CrossFit name now.
But they're still doing...
But they're still
CrossFit
CrossFit.
Style.
They still do
they just don't have
actual CrossFit workouts, but they just don't have the name. Employees are CrossFit certified coaches.
Right. They just don't have the name of the building.
Yep. I think, this is just my opinion, but I think it kind of affects their stature. I don't know if that's the right word.
Status.
Within the community.
Okay.
it kind of erodes them in the community, I think.
So there is some value in that.
Absolutely. There's some pride.
Yep.
CrossFit is CrossFit. Why would you not want that name?
Yeah. And that's tough because if it's an expensive fee, but then, you got to weigh that against.
Right, but if it wasn't for CrossFit and that expensive fee, you wouldn't have that gym or even the idea to do it.
Exactly.
So
that's tough.
You can't forget where we came from.
Let's talk about a couple of the pros and cons of CrossFit. So here is an outsider, somebody who's never really done it too much. I see as the pros. The workouts are actually short. You can get in and out in a half hour, right?
No, you get out when the class is done.
Well, I mean, but your average
it's an hour. Yep.
Workout is a
there's two different workouts. There's usually a strength portion and a metcon, a metabolic conditioning portion.
Okay.
Where you work out. It's two
You're
workouts.
not putting hours in,
No.
I mean, and because of the intensity, it works your muscles that same amount in a shorter time period because of that high intensity.
Oh, dude, I'll run you through a workout that'll be done in 4 minutes, and you'll wish you're dead.
You're right. Yeah.
I mean,
well, like it's tell anybody to do a bunch of burpees, and almost anybody that isn't a CrossFitter is going to croak out real fast.
The number one that when I talk to have the same conversation, I tell people do as many burpees as you can in a minute, hard as you can.
Most people
for
can't
a whole minute.
Most people can't do them for a minute.
Most people will have their hands on their knees.
Yep.
By 40 seconds.
So shorter workouts, that's a pro. The variation, right? The variety. So you're attacking all these muscles from different angles, and like I said, it's not just a strict aesthetic version of building one muscle,
right.
And that strengthens your whole body in a very quick time period.
And let's be clear, I'm a CrossFitter, sort of. I'm not a CrossFit coach,
right?
Or a box owner.
Yeah, this is all just from the perspective of somebody who's been in the community and been a user, been a
correct
a purchaser of this. So we're just getting your opinions here. But you do have the microphone, so
I do.
That makes you an expert.
I can't wait till we get to the cons because I have a couple.
And then the sense of community, which we covered greatly, and any other pros or that accountability piece. I mean, that's all kind of part of the sense of community too.
Accountability piece is everything. I used to tell people all the time when I was done with a workout, I'd be like, when it took me 16 minutes to finish that workout. I tell people this all the time. In my head, at like minute 11, I would say if I was by myself, I would have quit.
Right.
I would have said, I'm fucking toast. That's enough. That's good. And I just had a good workout.
That's true.
Nope. You don't, and that's one of the mottos or the sayings they use in CrossFit is we don't quit when we're tired, we quit when we're done.
Right. Because that's always going to push you further than you would have pushed yourself.
For sure. And it's that 15, I always say that's that 15% of that was where growth happens.
Yeah, exactly. Because without that motivation, you would have decreed yourself done a lot sooner. So
well, and there's an image. When you go to Quartz Plus or global gyms, they call them in CrossFit, when you go to global gym, there's a perception. It's like, why is that guy such a spaz? And there's like a stigma that comes with working super hard at a regular gym, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
If you're not screaming on the bench press or just chilling on a treadmill, then what are you doing, spaz? So
right, so that's a lot of the pros. Now, okay, let's get to the cons. Now, here's one that, as an outsider, I was speculating about chance of injury.
I haven't. I was going to say I haven't looked at your notes, but I know that's one of them.
Just because of the franticness of tossing weights around and trying to do these crazy.
I'm not going to be
throwing balls around.
I'm not going to be a CrossFit Bobo and just lick boots.
No, of course.
But I will tell you
the perspective.
The perspective is
true perspective,
and it's not just my perspective. This is the truth. Mm-hmm. If people do get injured in CrossFit, but it's their fault.
Okay.
It's not CrossFit's fault. It's not the CrossFit gym owner's fault. It's not the coach's fault.
What's a typical injury?
A lot of shoulders.
People just going two balls out.
Achilles tendon for some, like me. But yeah, people just doing shit they shouldn't do, and they don't listen to the coach. Coaches will come over and they'll be like, "Kipping pull-ups." That's a con. I'll just say it.
So a kipping pull-up is when you're not doing a full slow. You're kind of like
you're doing.
It's almost like a circular motion.
It's a circuit. It's a gymnastics movement.
Right. Okay.
When you see people do like the parallel bars or the uneven bars, that's it, not parallel.
Yep.
The uneven bars, When they get their momentum going,
Yeah.
they're kipping
Okay.
to get going. And it conserves energy. Why? Because CrossFit is a sport.
It's a race. Yeah.
It's a race. You're exercise racing, so you need to learn how to do pull-ups and as fast and as efficient. People are like, you're not training. No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're trying to compete.
Yep.
It's for time. And it's lost on a lot of bros, and they don't get it. But the problem with kipping is everyone wants to kip because it masks weaknesses.
Yeah.
I can do 10 pull-ups. No, you can do 10 kipping pull-ups. You can't do one goddamn pull-up.
Yeah. That's another exercise. Speaking of burpees, if you think, you're in shape, try to do as many strict pull-ups as you can. That'll like eliminate most people immediately from thinking that they're in shape.
So I don't want to dwell too much on virtuosity, they call it on CrossFit. But if I was a level 1, 2, 3 or whatever, and I did own a CrossFit gym, you would not kip in my gym until you had 10 strict pull-ups.
So you got to reach a threshold before.
Until you could demonstrate 10 slow, controlled, strict pull-ups with your chin all the way over the bar, locking out at the bottom 10 times, you're not kipping.
Yeah,
and that seems, people say, oh, that's excessive. It's not.
Right.
It's not. It'll, trust me, in the long run, it'll save you. The other thing in my gym.
It's a goal to get there too.
Oh, right, exactly. Yeah, it's a reward. Earn it.
Exactly.
The other thing would be there would be stair-stepping phases, module. I don't know what the hell I'd call them. But there would be, you'd phase out of Olympic lifting.
Oh, okay.
Before you get weight on the bar. Because we rush into it. There's people, I'll walk through a CrossFit gym, any gym. I'm not singling anyone out, but I'll walk through a CrossFit gym and I'll see things out of the corner of my eye and I'll go, there's no way that person should have any weight on a barbell.
Just because their form is
form's horrible. Okay. They're going to hurt themselves.
So they haven't learned the proper form yet. So be strict on the form first.
Right. And putting weight on a bar and doing them isn't helping.
Right.
So
until you know how to use the muscles without
those people need to be coached.
And that's where knees,
not monitored.
Yeah, knees, backs, and stuff can really be in trouble if you're doing deadlifts. And
I always say, the secret to, and I'm not an Olympic lifter either, but I learned with sport, football.
Right.
I played quarterback, throwing the ball, playing baseball, hitting a ball.
Yep.
Playing golf, hitting a golf ball. And Olympic lifting is no different. In no other sport can you not get away without being super deliberate. That's the word I use all the time. You have to be deliberate in your action. You can't, I always say like a snatch. You can't kind of sort of snatch.
Right.
You either fucking do it or you don't.
Yeah.
You go. It's commitment. It's all in or don't do it. Because when you get wishy-washy, you get hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
And I did. I hurt my shoulder and my back because I was snatching, and I caught it way back. Or no, I'm sorry. I caught it way forward, so it was not good.
Yeah.
And what did I try to do? Instinctively.
Get under it.
Pull it back.
Right.
With my shoulders. And if you're not on YouTube, you can't see what I just did, but
yeah,
that's bad. With
news.
heavy weight over your head like that and try and pull it back before you stand up.
Yeah.
That was bad. It was stupid. But
so injury.
Ego gets in the way.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's another, and I have in air quotes, that it's hard. Okay. Now you would say as an alpha, you would say that's a pro of CrossFit. That it's
I would
hard,
say
it's not a negative.
I would say what I always say. Successful people pursue hard things.
Right. So that's why I put quotes on that, because I don't think that's a true con either. I think that's just a cop-out that people would use to try to avoid CrossFit. And then,
for sure,
because you're not just trotting on a treadmill. You're doing some sweaty ass,
It's the reason, like Greg Glassman used to always use the analogy, it's the reason why the difference between going for some bullshit liberal arts degree or going to med school.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard. Med school's hard. People crave that. They challenge that. People don't go to be doctors just because they want to live in the fancy house.
Right.
They do it because it's hard. And they pursue hard things. Why do people climb mountains?
Yeah, exactly.
To prove they can.
Prove they can do it. human achievement. I like a couple of the quotes they have on their site here. It says, "The lifestyle, off the carbs, off the couch." That's a good line. "The CrossFit lifestyle, a combination of sound nutrition and exercise, is the key to fitness and long-term health."
And when they say off the carbs, they're talking about processed foods.
Yeah, well,
they're not. I mean,
they have a picture here of looks like a piece of fish or chicken and some asparagus,
salmon with asparagus.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I mean that's pretty in keeping with what we think is a good healthy diet as well.
And when they originated that off the carbs, off the couch, they were talking about Coca-Cola,
Yeah,
and Twinkies,
Yep,
and breakfast cereal.
exactly. Screw
You would not.
Screw you, Kellogg.
You would not believe. And they track it now, and I don't know where it is. We can look it up later and maybe put it in the show notes. But they track right now. The thing is how many between CrossFit Gym owners. The thing is how many 100-pound Century Club people do you have? How many 100-pound loss?
Oh, people have lost 100 pounds.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And there's
gotta
a
be a
lot.
lot.
Well, it's not even cool anymore. Now it's 200.
100. That's just rookie level.
Right. And it's insane
That's
the amount of
crazy.
people that have just shedded weight and turn it around. And, dude, I
So
seriously,
really the benefits that a regular person would see if they. Now your argument is that they see this a lot more consistently, and it's more achievable using CrossFit style workout rather than just going to the gym, treadmill, and all the other.
for sure, because you're going to work harder and you're
Fitness.
going to lift harder and you're going to gain lean body mass.
Because of the
Yep.
motivation from your team,
Yep.
the accountability piece, and the intensity.
Yep.
And the
Look at that
combination.
gal on the page right now. You ever think she'd ever dream before she started CrossFit of having that barbell over her head?
Oh yeah, lifting that much weight. I mean, that's,
Right.
that bar's actually bending.
I think that's optical illusion. Those are only
Might be just the wide angle lens.
those are only 10s and 15s.
Okay. But yeah, I
But
mean,
no, I mean she's got a bar over her head.
Yeah.
How friggin' cool is
most
that?
people couldn't even just lift the bar.
Right.
What is a bar? 45 pounds or
45 and 35.
okay. Yeah.
Yep, for ladies.
Yeah, most people couldn't even do that.
Nope.
Yeah, that's crazy. Speaking of the cultiness and the community, I found this list of the best CrossFit jokes, and I'm going to read
There's
a
so
couple.
many funny ones.
What's the hardest thing about being a vegan that CrossFit's trying to decide which one to tell people about first? Did you hear about the vegan who does CrossFit? Yeah, so did I. The first rule of CrossFit Fight Club: tell everyone about CrossFit Fight Club. That's funny.
Don't worry, I'll tell you. That's good.
This one. Who was the first one to do CrossFit? Jesus Christ. It actually says "badumch" at the end. Oh, that's cross. I get it. That's really punny. Me, I'm tired. I'm still tired from all the CrossFit this morning. Coworker, it's pronounced croissant, and you ate 4 of them. A vegan, a person on a gluten-free diet, and a person who does CrossFit walk into a bar. I only know about that because none of them would shut up about it.
These are all funny because they're true. I can own it.
Here's the common theme that people love to brag and evangelize the
I don't know if it's bragging, if it's so much as share.
It. They're so passionate.
It changed everything for me. It changed my life so much that I want to share this. I want other people to experience this. Yeah, I don't get it.
What's the worst part about doing CrossFit? Having to shop at Kids Gap. No,
that's obviously a bodybuilder.
So that's basically the slam there is that you're not beefy,
right?
You're getting trimmer and leaner.
And by the way,
because CrossFit athletes are not big. I mean, they're ripped.
Yeah,
they're super
too.
lean,
Some
but
of them
lean
are big
over
too.
big.
Well, just write this down. You can look up it later, but look up on YouTube the CrossFit bodybuilder and powerlifter competition. CrossFit wins everything every time.
Well, bodybuilders can't do pull-ups.
Well,
they can't lift that.
They're
massive,
strong.
Yeah, but they have to lift a huge, massive body.
Well, right, but
so, I mean that's a lot more weight to do a pull-up with. Whereas most CrossFit guys are leaner.
Well, yeah, but it's the whole premise behind it was we'll do your sport, we'll do each of our sports,
right,
and then tally up all the scores.
But you're saying that the CrossFit people can lift weights,
right? And run.
But the
and
bodybuilders
swim.
can't do the
they can only
pull-ups and burpees.
They can only bodybuild.
Well, they can't even comb their own hair. I mean,
they're
wipe their own asses
muscle bound.
Their back muscles get in the way.
Right.
Oh, that's funny. So I'll post this link to these jokes. There's some pretty good ones in here. There's many. It's funny because there's a lot of /vegan Because people love to talk about being vegans too. So there's some overlap there.
It is.
Good stuff. So we talked about most of the stuff. Now talk about the CrossFit Games a little bit. I know they have the big national one. Is that yearly or?
Yeah, it's yearly. It's changed ever since Greg Glassman got forced out for his
he was naughty
racist comments.
He was a naughty boy.
Yeah, racist. COVID's a hoax comments. He went all in. It's social, racially charged environment, COVID, lockdowns, and he
doesn't do anything half-ass.
Right. He just put it all together in one asshole tweet, and that was now enough. He's retired.
He's toast, huh?
But he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think he's fine, right?
He got bought out.
He's got all those,
he'll be just fine.
All those royalties for all those years of building the gyms.
Right.
So talk about what is it called, the Open? Or?
The Open is open, get it?
Yep.
To everyone.
So
CrossFit affiliate, home gym, everyone on the planet can go to CrossFit.com or the CrossFit Games. You enroll for $20, $25, whatever it is. You do the workouts, and there's a national leaderboard.
Okay.
And if you're without getting into the weeds too much, because some people will be like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Just give me the Cliff Notes.
Right.
If you do high enough in the Open, if you finish high enough in the Open, you move on to, usually it used to be you'd move on to regionals.
Okay.
And then from regionals, they'd pare it down to 5, and then those 5 would go to the games, which used to be in Carson, California. Now, after all the turmoil and hubbub, and right before Greg Glassman got pushed out, he was kind of going a little loopy. Like he was losing his shit. He was not all there.
Right.
And he said he blew it up. He was going to cancel the games. He fired everyone from CrossFit headquarters. They're all fired.
Wow.
The media team, everyone. And you'll see that when you watch The Fittest. They tell this whole story.
Okay.
But he just changed everything. And now instead of regionals, there's sanctionals. So there's independent, privately owned CrossFit events that are deemed a sanctional. And if you win that, you go to the games.
And it's deemed, it's knighted or whatever. It's appointed as official by the
correct. They're
the overlords.
Yep. So that was the really goofy year with Glassman still there. But now that he's gone and Eric Rosa owns the company, he kept a lot of the key people in place. It's a little more normalized. There's still sanctionals, and now there's kind of regionals again, but they're calling them quarterfinals and semifinals. So anyways, long story short, you finish high enough in the Open, you move on to quarterfinals, finish high enough there, semifinals, and then they'll take probably 30 or 40, and then you'll go to Madison, Wisconsin is where they're at now.
Okay. So you as a member of Fargo CrossFit Gym could enter this and theoretically end up in the national competition if you did well
People
enough.
do that all the time.
Wow.
Because there's always dark horses. Like, where the hell did this kid from? He usually ends up pissing hot and getting DQ'd, but because he's so many steroids, he glows in the dark. But
awesome. And that's on, like you said, ESPN, and it's pretty big.
CBS Sports now won the contract for it, so it's on the CBS
pretty
Sports
popular.
channel.
I've watched a couple of them, and I wanted to talk about this documentary too, so I'll bring this up here.
Oh, that's The Fittest.
This is called The Fittest, right? So that's kind of the big, CrossFit documentary. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, and they go into the first 15, 20 minutes to go into what I just went into.
Sure. Yeah, and this Matt Frazier guy is in that. He's like the stud that just retired, right?
Yep, 5-time CrossFit. It's 5 straight.
And I don't think people understand how hard that is to do.
How unbelievably hard it is. There's one saying that Sean Woodland used to use, and it's one of the CrossFit Games announcer guys. He's really good at his job, but he used to always say, people don't understand how good you have to be, phenomenally good you have to be, just to suck at the games.
Oh, yeah.
To be like 40th.
Right. Yeah, that guy would just destroy anybody locally.
For sure. People locally aren't even that guy.
No.
Otherwise, they'd be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, they make it look easy.
Right.
Because, if you watch somebody do 30 pull-ups, they make it look like it's much easier than it actually is to do.
And then enter my favorite fucking excuse. Well, if that was my job all day, shut up. Shut up. Jesus, you can't even do 5 push-ups. That was my job all day.
Right.
Whatever.
It would take, well, you'd have to do it 7 days a week for years
Right.
to even get in the neighborhood.
Right.
The dedication. I think that's why that guy is retiring, right? Because of the dedication.
It took
is insane.
everything. He said I missed bachelor parties, I missed weddings, I missed birthday parties because I had to train and I couldn't eat that shit.
Yep.
Food at the parties. But people are always like, yeah, if I'd look like you too if all I did is work out all day. It's like, dude, you're the guy that goes to Planet Fitness and just scans his key fob so Blue Cross reimburses him as $20. Right. Doesn't even go in.
Yeah, that's but yeah, watch The Fittest. I'll put the link in the show notes for that. It's on Amazon. And
it's very, 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 very entertaining.
Yeah,
even if you're not a CrossFit person, it's very well produced. And
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just impressive shit. It's very motivating just to see people
just
doing
the human spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
The shit they can do. They will seriously. Those people have that. I was talking to somebody about this the other day when I said they have this thing inside them that I don't have, and that's that off switch.
Oh, right.
I think I'm pretty tough, but when I'm in a workout and I start seeing black, and my lungs are on fire, and my scalp starts tingling. I'm like, shut her down.
Shut her down.
Shut her down.
I've given her all she's got, Captain.
Oh, I'm like, that's it. Those people go.
They
just go, and they will pass out or die.
And I think that's what makes, well, maybe a lot of endurance athletes or whatever, but especially these CrossFit people, is that ability to push through that pain. And
right.
Most people do not have that gene or whatever you want to call it, characteristic.
Yep.
That's insane. Anything else you want to say about CrossFit before we move on?
I don't know how long we've been doing it.
We've already talked a freaking hour about this, so.
Doesn't seem like it. No, I think that's. I think that covered it.
Right,
it's
so.
People owe it to them. This is a kind of a culty thing to say, but people owe it to themselves to try it.
Yeah,
and not just once. Give it a few.
Yeah, you got to allow yourself to progress a little.
Yep.
Not just go in there and get devastated and then say,
reach out.
Sucked.
Yeah, exactly. And reach out to somebody, unlike what I did. Because when you go there by yourself, you're going to get the nervous peas and you're going to lock up, and it's super, super.
You got to acclimate.
Anxiety inducing. But if you can go with a buddy, and that's why they have buddy nights.
Yep.
Where it's like, hey, bring a friend who's never done CrossFit.
Yeah, I've done a few sessions, but I was in a networking group with somebody that owned one, and we went a few times. And yeah, it's a great, very welcoming environment.
Oh, unbelievable! People are the friendliest, kindest, salt of the earth people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, nobody's going to give you any shit.
Right.
While you're there, they're just gonna only encouragement. You know, at least that's what I've seen.
Here's my favorite part. I told this to a buddy one time, a couple of buddies who actually CrossFit too, and this will close on the CrossFit conversation with this, is the competitive nature is like nothing you've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And I said, when we're outside this gym, I'll give you the shirt off my back. I'll give you my last $1. I'll help. I'll do anything for you. But as soon as we go inside those doors and that clock starts, I will paint the walls with your blood. And
do you write for Hallmark?
I don't think that'd be a very good Valentine's Day card.
But it reminds me of that Looney Tunes cartoon. Remember when I forget what it was, but it was the coyote and then somebody else. They would walk up and punch the clock.
Oh yeah. Then if Ralph and George and their friends,
shit.
Yep. The sheepdog and the wolf.
Yeah, they would attack each other all day, and then after they were done, they would punch out and say, "Well, see you tomorrow." And walk away with their lunch pails.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is.
Very good. All right. Well, that was CrossFit.
Go try it.
So yeah, put some comments in our YouTube channel under this video. If you got any opinions on CrossFit, I'd love to hear them. Pro, con. What did you like about it? What did you hate?
CrossFit Fargo. CrossFit EHP.
CrossFit EHP. There's a local.
CrossFit 701 and CrossFit Cheyenne River Crossing.
Cool.
And there's a couple other ones.
CrossFit Ice House was one I went to.
And they're now unaffiliated.
Okay, so they're one of the ones that dropped the franchise.
Yeah, and there's Strong Roots in West Fargo. Yeah. They're also very CrossFit oriented, but not an affiliate.
Yeah, we'll put links in the show notes and the YouTube description.
All good people.
All those, yeah.
All of them. Even the unaffiliated ones, just salt of the earth.
Yep.
You'll be like, these are my people.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's bring up Yield Tracker here and find out how fat is Josh. Pretty fat. Yeah. Okay.
But you got to change that. It's got to be how fat is Josh, and then go
was. Was. How fat was Josh? All right. So as you can see, I lost another 2.8 pounds this week.
So 194 to 175 in 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 1 month and 10 days because we started this January 14th and now it's February 24th. So basically 40 days.
Sure.
I've lost 19.6 pounds. My body fat percentage is down almost 5.9%, down to 26.9.
Took a huge jump this week, which clearly you
Might
had
be
some
caliper.
water sitting in there and some stuff moving around.
Yeah, I feel like recomposition is happening.
But we should point out that we've decided you're going to go get dunked and do bod pod and get more official.
Yeah, I'm going to get an official, either the bod pod or the hydrostatic weighing or whatever they call that. I'm going to get that done so I can get a real official number because, as we know, the caliper, like you said, is fairly primitive. Arm inches have actually grown slightly, which is good. That's what I'm going for. I want the guns, baby.
Jacked workouts.
Thighs have dropped slightly. But no, now let's do the waist measurement.
The waist.
And I had a doctor's appointment today for my every decade physical. And it's interesting the questions that they were asking. Well, one thing, they did a waist circumference also.
Yeah.
And they did it right at the belt line.
Oh, that's
I wanted to go, you did it wrong.
Why didn't you?
Well, because,
I would have challenged them on the spot.
I figured this is what they
Standard American medicine.
Now make sure you're straight across because last week
Oh, stop it.
Last week you fucked up. I watched the video and it was at a weird angle.
36.
36. Oh, all right. Same. But I did have to pull my belt loop in one more notch this week. So I'm definitely dropping.
You're clearly leaner.
Clearly. I know when I get that bod pod or the hydrostatic weighing, I know my body fat percentage is going to be probably lower than we've been. Well, now I'm at 26.9. So remember, I was at 32.8 when we started with the caliper, and my waist circumference is 41.5. So I'm down 5.5 inches in the waist in 40 days.
That's sick.
That is sick. So if you want to know how to do it, email us, comment. We'll tell you.
Watch the other episodes.
Watch other episodes. Yeah, I mean, for me, the keys are some version of intermittent fasting. So I'm eating one meal a day, cut all the carbs. I'm just doing it in the form of carnivore, and exercising. So I'm doing double workouts every other day, and I'm doing push-ups every day. So nothing crazy.
What's your end goal?
To get leaner. I don't know what my
SMART goals, dude. Measurable. What's your goal?
Lay off
and
me,
time bound.
Lay off me, old football coach. I would say
time bound.
I don't know. I need to have a little more knowledge, or maybe you could tell me like what I should be at, like for a body fat percentage.
What's your goal? Are you gonna
Well,
do athletic stuff, or you just want to look good naked?
Why can't it be both?
It can.
Why can't it be looking good doing athletic stuff naked?
Because it's illegal.
I want to do cock push-ups.
It would be, that would be frowned upon.
I don't know. I'd say leaner because I still got some love handles and there's some stuff going on there. I'd like to get down to if I'm at 26.9%, I probably need to be under 20.
I don't think you are.
So
Sorry, I have a yawning fit here.
yeah,
Am
I boring
It's
you?
not because I'm really bored of how fat is Josh. Never.
So I don't know. Under 20, I think is where I need to be.
You're already under 20.
I think I am.
Yep.
Okay. Well, then I know, and my waist can definitely go down. So I want to get that down to probably, 33 or something.
Sure.
Another 3 inches.
What's your pant size?
32s.
Okay.
But again, you can have that's just around the hip bones. Guys can have a small pant size and still have a giant gut hanging over.
And no ass.
Exactly. So
But
I don't trust
I
that.
wore
but-
32s in like 8th grade.
Well, I used to wear 30s when I was in my 20s.
You're exactly like a man, only smaller.
Exactly. I'm fun-sized.
Pocket Hercules.
All right, so that is the weekly segment of How Fat Is Josh? Pretty fat. Follow us for more diet tips. All right, well, I think that wraps it up for this week. So make sure you're leaving comments on the YouTube channel. What's your favorite thing about CrossFit? Do you hate CrossFit? Did you watch the docs?
Favorite CrossFit joke?
What's your favorite CrossFit joke?
I think they're funny.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, if you can't laugh at yourself, then what good are you?
Well, I just can laugh at them because when they do come dry, I'd laugh at them.
Right.
When they're laying in a puddle of their piss.
Exactly.
With their thumb in their mouth.
Saying, Dewey, help me. I can't even get into my car.
How's your little jokey jokes going now? Can't feel your face.
Yeah, tell me those jokes while you're doing pull-ups.
Right.
See how many you can tell.
As you're puking.
Right. Oh, man.
I kid. Nobody pukes.
Do they ever at that? At those
Fuck
workouts?
all the time.
All the time? All right.
Yeah.
I remember watching that. I
Just
think
didn't want to scare them off.
I think it was Pumping Iron, or what's that legendary like bodybuilding
Oh, yeah.
Schwarzenegger movie?
Yep.
They're like working out and they just barf all the time. And It's
Yeah.
just like they don't even.
Yeah.
It's not even a second thought.
It's going to be good for you.
Right.
You're a steroid freak and a bulimic.
All right. So send us emails, info@fitandfurious.com. What do you want to hear about? What nutrition and fitness topics are you interested in? Give us your opinions. And make sure you check out the show on YouTube if you're listening too, because you get to see all the shenanigans, valuable visuals, and weekly extra content that doesn't make it onto the audio podcasts. If you're listening on the audio podcast, check out Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Please, we beg of you, we ask of you, subscribe, rate, review, and share. Also support the show. Go to furiousmerch.com. We got t-shirts that are meat and keto centric and kind of fun. And we will.
Oh, wait. A little offer. Little offer for people out there.
All right.
If you share the podcast to 5 people, you can listen next week for free. You like that?
Mind blown.
Feeling really generous.
I love it, baby.
All right, do your radio thing.
We will see you next week.
Bye.